be Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson or Trey Lance with Kyle Shanahan calling the plays, or Matt Stafford with Sean McVay calling the plays, no matter who you run up to into the playoffs, or Tom Brady, assuming the Bucs make the postseason, you're going to have to be able to stop the run or stop the pass. And the Cowboys have a mediocre pass rush. Their secondary is first and second year guys. And I just don't think you can win 3 straight playoff games with a bad pass defense unless you have a super elite offense. And I think the offense will be a tick beneath that. So with that said, while I've not yet picked the Super Bowl out of the NFC, I will not be picking the Cowboys, Broussard. I do not think they have enough to make it through the NFC playoffs with that pass defense.
Well, look, the question wasn't will the Cowboys reach the Super Bowls. It was, did they do enough to give themselves a chance, right? Could they reach the Super Bowl?
Sure.
I'm not picking them. My pick in the NFC is Tampa Bay. But I will go, yes, they did enough because, as you said it, Nick, they're going to win the worst conference or worst division in the NFL. All right, I get it. Washington is pretty tough. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, that's your answer at quarterback? No. The Cowboys have the best quarterback in the division by far, so they win the NFC East. You get a home field game in the first round, and then you're in the tournament. And you mentioned that they might have to go against Aaron Rodgers. Well, they might not, because we don't know what's going on in Green Bay with all his shenanigans. Then I look at the rest of the NFC. San Francisco, I do like better than the Cowboys. Seattle, I think, is right there with the Cowboys. And then the Rams, you know, Matthew Stafford's never won a playoff game. So other than Tampa Bay and San Francisco, those are only 2 definitive teams I put ahead of the Cowboys, assuming they're healthy. So I agree with you. I think the offense was not quite as good as the numbers suggested last year. A lot of those games, remember, you're playing from behind, you're rallying against prevent defenses and things like that. But they will be good if they're healthy. I think Ezekiel Elliott, we've all seen the pictures of him with his biceps and his six-pack again and all that. He's got a lot to prove. He has been written off. All right, it hasn't been just, oh, this was a bad year for Zeke. He's pretty much been written off. So I think he'll bounce back and be motivated. On the defensive end, that's the big thing, Nick. And look, in the NFL, coaching is more important than any other sport. And Dan Quinn is the defensive coordinator. I think that's going to pay huge dividends over what Mike Nolan did. Leighton Vander Esch, they didn't pick up his 5th year of his option. So I think he's going to be motivated. I like Micah Parsons, that draft pick. Kelvin Joseph, I think, helps the cornerbacks, the defensive backfield. So I think the defense won't be great, but it will be pretty good. It was a top 10 defense before Mike Nolan got there. And I think Quinn can get them back to being 10, 11, 12 in the league defensively, good enough to win the NFC East and get in the tournament. And once you're there, you got a shot.
All right, I've got better news for the Cowboys faithful out there, Broussard. You're basically already in the Super Bowl. Week 1, you open up in Tampa Bay. That is a must-win game. So rather than talking about, you know, after Week 17 and after the playoffs, we get to the Super Bowl, win the first game. I don't want to hear any drama about it. You're in. That's where the Super Bowl was. You're playing Tom Brady. You got a huge audience. And then after that, you don't play a team with a winning record last year till week 11. So that's, remember when you like went to school or you went to college and you're like, man, I'm going to go home and see my folks at Thanksgiving. That's how long it is until the Cowboys play a team with a winning record. So Nick, to me, it is a must-win game, and I will root for the Cowboys. I will believe in the Cowboys, but if they lose that first game, I'll be out on the Cowboys, and I invite you to join me. And I know what you're saying, like, oh, Wilds, it's Tampa Bay. You're playing the Super Bowl champs. No, Mike McCarthy, you know how you're supposed to have a good record off a bye week? You don't put Nick back on. He's flabbergasted. You know you're supposed to have a good record after the bye week. Mike McCarthy, you had 8 months to prepare for this game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers got no new players. They brought everybody back. They're going to do the same stuff. Figure it out. You supposedly watched every gosh darn game in the barn in Appleton, Wisconsin. Now you
in the
just
barn,
need to watch the
plays,
Bucs game.
that was a
They're
lie.
going to do the same stuff. They're going to throw the ball long. They're going to rush Dak. You should be able to beat them and start your season off on a strong foot.
Well,
They
listen,
gotta
so
win.
there are a
I
few
also
things
kind of rooting
there.
against Brady.
What-
To be honest with you.
I also, if I'm Mike McCarthy, I'd want to know a few things. One is, am I going to have my all-pro left tackle against the Bucs, unlike the Packers or the Chiefs did? And is Tom Brady going to bring his hand-picked refs from the Super Bowl that obviously flipped that entire game at the end of the first half? Because if so, they're going to be in real rough shape. But I look at the schedule a little differently, Broussard, than Wilds does, which is, even if they lose that first game, because the next, I know you said they don't play a team with a winning record until week 11, but they also, forget winning record. I mean, the Eagles are going to be terrible. The Panthers, I think, are going to be awful. The Giants, I don't think, are going to be good. Patriots should be okay, but the Broncos will be really bad. They have an opportunity to get off to an excellent start. The best team they play in the first 6 weeks, aside from Tampa, should be the Chargers. But because the game against Tampa's on a Thursday, they actually get the little extra time to rest before the Chargers game. The Chargers, meanwhile, in week 1 are on the road on the East Coast. They'll be coming all the way back west, and Tampa will have extra days. So I do think the schedule plays out very well for the Cowboys, particularly early.
Whilst they won't be Tampa Bay. All right, but that's okay. As Nick said, look at the rest of the schedule. And one thing we know about Dak Prescott, he cleans up against losing teams. His struggles are against the winning teams, but the losing teams he cleans up. So they should have a strong record, which again puts them in a good situation once they get to the tournament.
Good take.
Dak Prescott, a winner among losers, according to Chris Broussard. Back talking hoops now because Nick is going to break out his end-of-season player pyramid next. But first, Giannis spreading the love to Greater Milwaukee. I loved watching every second of it. Check this out.
Let's go! Can I touch the trophy?
Oh, come on.
Just touch it.
Baby,
Can I touch the trophy?
this is